Please rise for the presentation of the colors and the singing of the national anthem by Allison Harris.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Good afternoon. On behalf of the university community, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Fall 2018 Graduate Commencement Exercises. We are pleased to have with us representatives from Virginia Tech's Board of Visitors. Board members are appointed by the governor, and Virginia Tech greatly benefits from their deep and genuine commitment to the university. I would like to welcome Dr. John Ferris, faculty representative to the Board of Visitors, Robert Seebeck, staff representative to the Board of Visitors, and Lorenzo Zoe Amani, our graduate student representative. Please join me in recognizing these individuals with your applause. Through this ceremony, we recognize your significant achievement and celebrate your talents, skills, and hard work. It's also important to note that these students would not have achieved their goals without the teaching, guidance, and mentorship of Virginia Tech's outstanding faculty. I would now like the faculty to please stand and be recognized. Just as crucial as the role of the faculty, the supporting cast of family, friends, and community members behind each graduate student deserve recognition, with the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers, partners, spouses, and children, please stand so that we can congratulate you as well. Graduate students are important to the university's research, teaching, and engagement missions, and are able to earn degrees in Blacksburg at locations across the Commonwealth and online. During the summer and fall semesters, 1,220 students earn advanced degrees and certificates from an offering of 89 master's and 70 doctoral programs in 8 colleges. There are approximately 380 graduates here today. As part of the graduate commencement, we invite an outstanding graduate student to provide a brief message on behalf of the graduating student body, followed by a keynote speaker to provide reflections and perspectives. It is now my pleasure to present Virginia Tech's Interim Executive Vice President and Provost, Cyril Clark, who will introduce the graduate student speaker and the keynote speaker.
It is my pleasure to introduce our graduate student speaker, Jordan Laney, who will receive her doctorate today. Jordan is a Presidential Pathways postdoctoral teaching fellow at Virginia Tech in the Department of Religion and Culture. She is a graduate of the Alliance for Social, Political, Ethical, and Cultural Thought PhD program, known as ASPECT, in the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences. She holds certificates in the Future Professoriate, Women's and Gender Studies, and Material Culture and Public Humanities. Jordan's current work addresses issues of gender within traditional Appalachian music, theories of space and place, and qualitative research methodology. She is a member of the Edward A. Boucher Society, a Berea College Appalachian Sound Archive Fellow, Virginia Tech Graduate Instructor of the Year, Global Perspectives Program Scholar, Founding Fellow of the Graduate School's Academy for GTA Excellence, and member of the Appalachian Studies Association Steering Committee. Jordan is from McDowell County, North Carolina, and earned her bachelor's degree from Goddard College and her master's degree from Appalachian State University. Please join me in welcoming Jordan Laney.
Good afternoon. Thank you for that kind introduction. It is an absolute honor to represent those gathered here today, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to reflect on what we have accomplished and where we are going. If I were to distill my thoughts about the experiences leading to this day, it would be this: I have learned we are journeying together and creating the paths we need. On behalf of the graduates gathered here, I would like to thank President Timothy Sands and Dean Karen DePaul for envisioning an institution where graduate students thrive. Thank you. And today I'm reminded of the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that in our sober moments, we know deep down in ourselves that we did not make it alone. This is another way of saying all that we are, we owe. I extend the deepest appreciation to those whose sacrifices and love got us to this day. Please join me in taking a moment to thank our families, friends, coworkers, colleagues, mentors, neighbors, students, and all others who helped us journey safely to this moment. Thank you. I entered graduate school admittedly scared, like perhaps a few of you did. I remember calling my parents the night before the first day to tell them that I was sure I was in over my head. And while I found out that I was indeed prepared and capable, my experiences in graduate school were not easy. There were moments of uncertainty, moments when the entire endeavor was questioned. And when I began to doubt myself, I would remember those I owe. The generations before me, the communities that support me, and the ideas that inspire me. When reminded of that connectedness, when reminded that all that we are, we owe, I could see a light at the end of the tunnel. And while I may have looked a bit lost at times, I was making my path by walking, and I'm grateful to those who trusted me and traveled, sometimes veering off the path alongside me. Similarly, I have witnessed others create the structures they need, from teaching support found in the Graduate Academy for Teaching Excellence, to beloved writing groups, to the Diversity Scholars Program that supports student-driven initiatives, to the establishment of underground music venues, to the means to travel internationally, even to interdisciplinary degrees. It has been so exciting to see what is possible when people work together beyond traditional boundaries. Virginia Tech has taught me to trust myself even though my path is different. This beautiful, challenging, wild process has taught me that we are never journeying alone. Our research has taken us all over the world as we followed our curiosities and experiments in different directions. But today, each of us will walk across the stage and temporarily share the same path. A very wise friend told me to view this day as a particularly beautiful view on a very long hike. That sentiment deeply resonates with me because our work is far from over. But here at this new summit, we see what matters is not so much the paths we take, but the journeys we commit to taking. We see that at one point or another, we are all downstream. From this vantage point, it's clear that we are connected, not just through our time here, but in the next phase of our careers. And I hope that as we continue to move onward and upward, that we strive to understand the environmental, economic, political, and social challenges of today in new ways that allow us to continue the important work we have started here of creating paths, places, and institutions needed for a more just and equitable world. What an amazing, even if rainy, amazing day. And while it's not always comfortable to recognize, the new titles we receive here today bestow upon us immense privilege. It's important to claim these new positions in their fullness, because if we are using our power, the power of our positions, titles, jobs, and talents correctly, we will, as Toni Morrison reminds us, be working to empower somebody else. The beautiful thing about knowledge is that in the end, it can always be about empowering somebody else. May we work to that end. It's my sincere hope that no matter where our different paths take us next, we never forget the radical potential and the serious weight of such power. May we never forget that all that we are, we owe. It has been a pleasure and an absolute honor to learn alongside you. Congratulations, dear friends and colleagues. We're here and we've got this. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. And I have the pleasure to introduce Dr. William Bill Hopkins. Dr. Hopkins is a professor in the Department of Fish and Wildlife Conservation and the College of Natural Resources and Environment. He is also the founding director of the Global Change Center, as well as one of Virginia Tech's largest interdisciplinary graduate education programs. Dr. Hopkins' research focuses on the effects of rapid environmental changes on the health of wildlife. He has published nearly 200 peer-reviewed manuscripts, and he is a frequent commentator for national news programs and provides input on environmental issues to decision makers in Richmond and Washington, D.C. Dr. Hopkins is the 2015 recipient of the Alumni Award for Research Excellence, has twice received the college's Outstanding Faculty Award for Undergraduate Teaching, and in 2017 was honored with the Outstanding Graduate Student Mentor Award for his college. He has worked with colleagues to develop novel educational opportunities for students, including experiential learning requirements for his home department and a study abroad course in the Amazon rainforest. He holds a bachelor's degree from Mercer University, a master's degree from Auburn University, and PhD from the University of South Carolina. Please welcome Dr. Bill Hopkins.
Thank you, Provost Clark, President Sands, Vice President DePaul, and the rest of the Virginia Tech community for having me here today. Congratulations, graduates, and congratulations to everyone that helped you get here. I am so happy for all of you. It's an honor to have the opportunity to share a few thoughts on this celebratory occasion. Today, I want to tell you a couple stories about the two most valuable lessons that I learned from my mentors. And my overarching message today will be quite simple. I'm going to leave you with just two words that have shaped my entire professional life. And I hope they will be useful as you move forward in your own careers. So my first story really starts off when I was just a child. I grew up in a family of people in various aspects of healthcare, and the central figure was my grandfather. He was a decorated surgeon in World War II and came back to be a pioneering cardiovascular surgeon. Among other things, he invented and used one of the earliest heart and lung machines. So to me as a young boy who was very close to him, this guy was bigger than life. So from an early age, I knew I wanted to grow up and be just like him. I wanted to walk in his footsteps and one day become a physician. So I did the things you're supposed to do. I took my high school AP biology class, I shadowed a physician, and eventually I headed off to a small liberal arts college with a highly specialized biology department. Nearly all of the undergrads were either pre-med or pre-pharmacy. But something started happening during my last 2 years of high school and really took hold of me during my freshman year of college. I started to see social and environmental issues through a different lens. And by the end of my first semester in college, I had a devastating realization. I no longer had any interest in pursuing a career in medicine. Now, for a 19-year-old, this realization was fairly earth-shattering. I was turning away from the only career that I really knew much about, and of course I was terrified to tell my family, especially my grandparents, who had helped to get me there. So I internalized it. I completely lost interest in school, and my grades began to suffer as a result. After a couple semesters of poor academic performance, I realized I was running the risk of either failing out or dropping out of college. Something clearly had to change. So I did what every college student does. I went to see my advisor. And he tried to push me to use my current curriculum to explore alternative fields like dentistry and pharmacy, which were equally uninteresting to me. I went to a couple other faculty members in the department and received similar advice. I felt helpless, and as a last resort, I went to see the department head, a man named Nat Frazier, who I'd never met before. And right from the start, this conversation was really different than all the others. He did something that no one else did. He listened. He patiently listened to this worked-up college student who had clearly lost direction in life. And then he asked me a simple yet profound question that would change the course of my life. He asked me, "Bill, what are you passionate about?" So I rattled off a list of things that I liked and that I found interesting, and then he stopped me and said, No. I mean, what are you really passionate about? What do you wake up in the morning thinking about? What keeps you awake at night? I sat and I pondered that question for a few moments, and eventually I said, nature. He prodded me a bit further. What is it about nature? And I told him that I'd grown up being introduced to the outdoors by my father, and that some of the most vivid memories that I had were exploring the forest and creek behind my childhood home. And now, as a college student, every spare moment that I had was spent backpacking, paddling, and fishing across the beautiful mountain streams and coastlines of the southeastern U.S. I told him that I felt alive when I was in the outdoors, especially watching wildlife. And I also confessed to him that over the last couple of years, I had grown increasingly frustrated from what I saw happening all around me, the degradation of the wild places and the loss of the wild things that I cared about, including some of the places that had shaped my early childhood. Dr. Frazier listened patiently, and after a while, he leaned forward, he looked at me and said, "Well, I think our work here is done." And I remember walking out of his office thinking, well, that's the weirdest advice I've gotten yet. Was he actually suggesting that I would somehow build a career watching wildlife in the woods? That seemed pretty absurd. How on earth would I go about doing something like that? Now remember the context. I was in a small department that specialized in training students for the health professions. I didn't have a cell phone or internet to explore possible career options, and I had no role models in this area. But I tossed this around for a while, and gradually I became more curious. I scheduled another appointment with Dr. Frazier, and then yet another, where he eventually told me about this thing called graduate school, which I knew nothing about. And he even explained that if I was lucky, someone might even pay me to go to this thing called graduate school. This was starting to sound pretty good. And through his guidance and some influential people who believed in me, that summer I landed an internship chasing bald eagles along the coast of Georgia. And that was it. I was hooked. This experiential learning opportunity showed me that it wasn't only possible, but that there was a whole community of people out there who shared similar interests and were building their careers around them. So I went back to college and moved from being in the bottom of my graduating class to making the highest grades on the exams. Not because I had gotten any smarter, but because I had direction. I had become laser focused and was filled with excitement. I had found my passion, and I would go on to build my entire career around it. Now, the lesson that I learned from this advice is quite simple, yet it's profound. True passion is one of the most powerful motivators of human behavior. It is not something you can be taught in school or from your family. It is something that comes from inside and strikes at the core of who you are as a unique human being. It's what brings you joy and fills you with energy. And importantly, if you look at high-achieving people in virtually any walk of life, passion for their work is among the most common characteristics that they all share. Now, many of you came to graduate school to pursue your passions, but some of you are still exploring, and some of you may have changed your mind during the course of your grad school experience. But regardless of where you are in this journey, I urge you not to settle for a career that you don't feel passionate about. Keep challenging yourself to explore new options, take risks, and step outside of your comfort zone. Find the best outlets for your talents and interests, unique ways to apply your graduate education towards something that you truly love. And a piece of important advice once you actually land that dream job: you must nurture your passion throughout your entire career. It is easy to be consumed by all the other things going on in our fast-paced lives, as well as the mundane tasks of virtually any job. But if you quit engaging in the aspects of your work that bring you energy, you run the risk of losing your fire. So nurture your passion, feed it with experiences, share it with others. It is one of your most valuable assets. My second story today, a shorter one, involves my PhD mentor, a man named Justin Congdon. He's probably the smartest person that I've ever met, not just as a scientist, but as an extraordinarily well-read and globally curious citizen. He is also a bit of an intimidating character, always economical with his words and offering direct criticism. He's a man that I deeply respect. So Justin was approaching retirement, and I was his last PhD student, and leave it to him to save his best piece of advice for the last moment of time that I had as his graduate mentee. The moment took place on a December graduation day, the day I received my PhD and was in the same seat as you here today. My family was there to cheer me on, and Justin was there to hood me. It was an incredibly proud occasion. After the ceremony, we walked out into the atrium and we snapped a few photos together, and then Justin's face grew serious. He turned to me and he said something that I will never forget. "Bill, congratulations. You now have more education than most people on this planet. Don't waste it." And that was it. No smile, no elaboration, no context. I was totally taken aback. I remember thinking, seriously? This is my big day, and this is how you're going to congratulate me? It really bothered me, everything about that statement. I really didn't understand it, and it would actually take me about 7 years before I would. So after graduation, I sort of buried those words in the back of my mind, and I went out, started my first real job, and eventually I landed at Virginia Tech. And man, I felt like the luckiest guy in the world. I was actually earning a respectable living to work with wild animals in some pretty wild places. And the best part is I got to share these experiences and my passion with students. Now think about that. How cool is it? Somehow I had tricked some really smart people into paying me to do what I love to do most. I was living the dream. But over the years that followed, I couldn't really shake off the words of my PhD mentor. You now have more education than most people on this planet. Don't waste it. And as I gained life experience and I learned what it meant to be part of a land-grant university, especially a university whose guiding principle is focused on service, I slowly began to unpackage this statement and I began to understand. His words made me realize that I had been given an incredible gift, the gift of opportunity. You see, for millions of people, no matter how intelligent they are or how hard they work, no matter what sacrifices their parents make, no matter how high they reach towards their dreams, millions of people will never have that gift of opportunity. Simply by chance, by where, when, or to whom they were born, millions of people will never have the opportunity to pursue a college education, let alone what you have achieved here today. So Justin's words have served as a constant reminder of just how fortunate I am and how fortunate you are to have the opportunities to achieve your dreams. And over time, his statement also revealed to me that with this opportunity comes enormous responsibility. He made me realize that pursuing my passion is not enough. And if you think about it, depending on what your passion is, pursuing it alone can actually become pretty self-indulgent. I think Helen Keller put it best when she said, "True happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose." My PhD mentor helped me more fully understand that we have an obligation to use this gift of education to give back to our community, to make the world a better place, to leave a positive mark on society. Which brings me to the second word that I want to discuss with you today, purpose. Now, purpose and passion can be related, but they are not necessarily the same thing. Both are powerful motivators, and both can bring you energy throughout your career. But purpose brings you endurance, perseverance. Purpose is more about your long-term vision, maybe even your lifetime of work. Purpose is outward-looking and often takes life experience, wisdom, and perspective to develop. And in many cases, tapping into your passion first will ultimately lead you to your purpose. And what is most exciting to me is that when you align your passion with purpose, they can become intimately intertwined, almost one, and incredibly powerful. In fact, I believe that one of the keys to success is to align your passion and purpose such that your career brings you both joy and energy, as well as much deeper meaning. I want you to consider a couple of real-world examples to illustrate what I mean by this alignment of passion and purpose. Consider the artist who uses her passion for painting to empower and connect individuals within the autism community through participation in the arts. Or the social psychologist from rural Latin America who uses his passion for teaching, combined with his own life experiences with discrimination and poverty, to lead youth study abroad trips where he teaches lessons of cultural sensitivity and social justice. Or how about the surfer and mountain climber who turned his passion for designing better outdoor gear into one of the world's most influential corporations for sustainable and socially responsible garment design. Part of what I'm trying to relay today through these stories and through these two powerful words, passion and purpose, is philosophical advice for having a rewarding, productive, fun, and meaningful career. Each of you will embark on your own journey, and I truly believe that by aligning your passion and purpose, the things that you love to do with the things you feel you need to do, you will find personal fulfillment over a long and influential career. But the other part of what I'm trying to relay today on a much more serious note is a plea. We need you to live a passionate and purposeful life. To illustrate why, just consider this. When I was born, there were about 3.7 billion people on the planet. Today, there are more than 7. And by the time I die, there will be more than 9 billion. Think about that pace of growth for just a moment over my short lifetime, coupled with the rapid expansion of the global middle class and the challenges that it creates around the world for our food, energy, and water systems, infrastructure, economies, biodiversity, our climate, educational systems, healthcare, human rights, national security, and perhaps even democracy as we know it. This is the formidable reality of the world in which you will build your careers. The stakes are higher than ever, and the answers to these complex challenges will require radical changes to many aspects of society. And if you're like me, this can be simply overwhelming to think about. How do we even start to bring about this kind of comprehensive change? I don't have the answers, but I do believe this. If we are going to address these challenges, it will be driven by one thing: passionate, purpose-driven people from every walk of life. Whether you're a physicist or a poet, a small business entrepreneur or a big data scientist, a cartoonist or a civil engineer, There are meaningful ways for every single one of you to contribute. The question is, how will you choose to do so? I want to leave you today with a powerful quote from Mark Twain. He once said that the two most important days in your life are the day that you were born and the day that you find out why. When this celebration ends and you move forward with whatever it is that you choose to do, I urge you to occasionally think about Mark Twain's words and look yourself in the mirror and ask, am I pursuing my passions, and is it contributing to the greater good? I assure you that when you figure out how to harness your passion and use your Virginia Tech graduate education to make the world a better place, you will not only find tremendous fulfillment, but you will also approach your work with a sense of urgency. You will look at challenges as opportunities, and you will have the stamina to endure some of the inevitable failures and adversity that you will face over the course of your careers. Standing here today makes me very proud to be part of this Virginia Tech community. I'm proud to be part of a culture that fully embraces the philosophy of Ut Prosum. And looking out at you really does give me hope. You've accomplished something truly amazing, something that few people in this world will ever accomplish. And the most exciting thing is, this is just the beginning of what you will achieve. Thank you again for having me here today, and congratulations.
Thank you, Bill. We really appreciate my script says commitment, and I'm going to say passion and purpose. So thank you for your passion and purpose and your commitment to graduate education and interdisciplinary studies. Each year, we select some unsuspecting grad students for special recognition. And I would like to ask Gary and Amy Nave to stand, please. Amy will receive her PhD in engineering education, and Gary will receive his PhD in engineering mechanics today. Their journey together is truly a Virginia Tech story. I'm not going to tell all of the story, promise. They met at a farewell party for a colleague early in their PhD programs. During their academic and personal journey, they took classes together to earn their future professoriate certificate, and they were members of the Global Perspectives program that traveled to Switzerland, side trips to France and Italy, and to Ecuador. While on the GPP trip to Ecuador, Gary decided to propose to Amy in the Galapagos below the statue of Charles Darwin, and they were married a year later. They said that their marriage survived that intense effort because it took turns taking care of each other and improving their academic endeavors, especially their dissertations. They successfully defended those in July, and now are here for graduation. They now live and work in Colorado. Amy is at the School of Mines, and Gary is at the University of Colorado, Boulder. Congratulations, and my very best wishes to you both. And there's a couple other, there's a group of individuals that I would like to also recognize today, and would all of the PhD recipients today who are first to earn it in their family, please stand. It is very significant to be the first in your family to earn a PhD, and I want to thank the families who have been supportive of all of your efforts and congratulate all of you. So thank you. You may be seated. Among the graduating students, there are many other stories and journeys that could be told. Obviously, we don't have the time to share each of them, but I'm going to attempt to highlight some of the milestones and achievements along the way. The individual journey varies, especially given the multiple locations through which we offer our graduate degrees. in the National Capital Region, Roanoke, Richmond, beyond, and online and beyond. If you earned a graduate degree from these other locations outside of Blacksburg, please stand. Thank you for coming here today. It's absolutely critical, the importance that we all understand that graduate education is not just in Blacksburg, but it is around the Commonwealth and around the world. So thank you very much for coming. Now we're coming to more interactivity, so please rise and remain standing if you have earned a national fellowship or scholarship. I know you're out there, yes. Please rise and remain standing. Please rise and remain standing if you are a recipient of the Outstanding Master's Student or Doctoral Student in each college, the Alumni Association Graduate Teaching Excellence or Service Awards, the William Preston Master's Thesis Award, or were a Graduate Student of the Year. Please rise and remain standing if you have earned recognition, thank you, if you have earned recognition as a Graduate School Citizen Scholar or Diversity Scholar, or participated in the Graduate School's Global Perspectives Program, or you were inducted into the Interdisciplinary Research Honor Society, IDR, or served the university by participating in the Graduate Honor System, or in governance through the Graduate Student Assembly, or on a university committee, or as a representative to the Board of Visitors. I'm working on this, so please rise and remain standing if you have participated in the GSA's Graduate Research Symposium, received a Travel or Research Award through the Graduate Student Assembly, and attended any of the events and workshops sponsored by GSA or the grad school throughout the year. Some of you over here I know have done that, so you can stand, thank you. So please stand if you have ever visited the Graduate Life Center, any lecture, symposium, or class held at the GLC, reserved a meeting room or conference room, used the computer lab, the student lounge, visited the cafe, or lived in the GLC, or visited the grad school offices in Blacksburg, Falls Church, Alexandria, Stats Lab, Writing, Counseling, Career Center, or in person or virtually, or relaxed at the fountain at the outdoor plaza. I hope I'm successful in getting you all to stand, because family, friends, colleagues, these are our graduate students, and I want to congratulate you all. And now you may be seated. I would like to share with you, you probably noticed that the program is a little different this time, the bulletin. And if you would like to see a complete listing of the accomplishments of all the graduates out here, their degrees, their dissertation titles, and their advisor, you can go to the graduate school website and download a PDF, and that will give you the whole list of graduates. Now I would like to share a tradition that began over 10 years ago. To commemorate and celebrate this day, graduate commencement, the Graduate School has commissioned an original music composition as a gift to the graduating students. I am pleased to introduce the newest composition by Associate Professor Dwight Bigler. He entitled this Fanfare for Brass. He said the piece is meant to reflect the many, many experiences of earning a graduate degree, the excitement, challenges, struggles, and ultimately success, and that is celebrated with much rejoicing. So please take a few minutes to enjoy the music that accompanies the images and reflections, the slides that will be up on the screen.
We will now begin the conferral of doctoral degrees. A very old and special tradition in academia accompanies the presentation of the doctoral degree. The doctoral candidate and the student's major advisor, the advisor who most mentored and supervised the student's research, walk together to the stage where the advisor places the hood over the head of the graduate. By hooding the graduate, the faculty member symbolically welcomes the graduate as a professional colleague, and this professional relationship and friendship often continues throughout the graduate's and the mentor's lives.
Will all the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education degrees please rise? President Sands, I have the honor to present the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education degrees.
With the power vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the Commonwealth of Virginia, and upon recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education degrees to which you are entitled with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the marshals please escort the candidates for the doctoral degrees and their major professors to the stage for the hooding ceremony?
Receiving the Doctor of Philosophy from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences in Agricultural and Extension Education, Sarah Ann Bush, hooded by Professor Rick Rudd. Jeremy Elliott Engel, hooded by Professor Donna Westfall Rudd. Crystal Ann Kyle, hooded by Professor Kim Niewolny. Shannon Renee Wiley, hooded by Professor Hannah Scherer. In Animal and Poultry Sciences, Des Anne Antoinette Therese Sutherland, hooded by Professor Paul Siegel. In Animal Sciences, Dairy, Benjamin David Enger, hooded by Professor Robert Akers. In Crop, Soil Environmental Sciences, Abigail Elaine Baxter, hooded by Professor Rory McGuire. In Entomology, Jacob Edward Bova, hooded by Professor Sally Paulson. In Food Science and Technology, Vaishali Dharmarha, hooded by Professor Monica Ponder. Laura Elizabeth Griffin, hooded by Professors Amanda Stewart and Andrew Nielsen. In Horticulture, Stephen Bradley Regalot, hooded by Professor Eric Beers and Amy Bruner. In Human Nutrition, Foods, and Exercise, Jasmine Marie Hayes, hooded by Professor Matthew Hulver. Emily Ann Myers, hooded by Professor Valisa Hedrick. In Plant Pathology, Physiology, and Weed Science, Kristen Renee Claremont, hooded by Professors James Westwood and Eva Kalakova. From the College of Architecture and Urban Studies, in Planning, Governance, and Globalization, Ashley M. L. Bresky, hooded by Professor Tom Skozinski. Vera Smirnova, hooded by Professor Paul Knox. In Public Administration and Public Affairs, Yvette Jasmine Pintar-Nuri, hooded by Professor Ann Kadamian. Aaron Sharma, hooded by Professor Karen Hult. From the Pamplin College of Business, in Business Management, Jerome P. Flynn, hooded by Professor Kevin Carlson. From the College of Engineering, in Aerospace Engineering, Dani Abu Jadeh, hooded by Professor Mazen Farhoud. Peter Sagash, hooded by Professor Bhuvana Srinivasan. David Ryan Seifert, hooded by Professors Mayuresh Patil and Gary Seidel. William Conrad Tyson, hooded by Professors Jeff Borgard and Robert Canfield. In Biological Systems Engineering, Nasreen Alamdari, hooded by Professor David Sample. Hyun Woo Kang, hooded by Professor Venkata Ramana Sridhar. Zhong Min Zhou, hooded by Professor Chen Ming Zhang. In Biomedical Engineering, Megan Christine Cox, hooded by Professor Scott Verbridge. Temple Ann Douglas, hooded by Professor Rafael Davalos. Nora May Plavak, hooded by Professor Pamela Vandevoort. Andrea Rolong, hooded by Professor Rafael Davalos. In Chemical Engineering, Amy Zhou, hooded by Professor Richie Davis. Gregory Michael Lambert, hooded by Professor Donald Bayer. In Civil Engineering, Sayed Mohammed Hossein Abdahi, hooded by Professor Peter Weichsland. Hutaifa Esam Ashkar, hooded by Professor Hesham Raka. Yilong Han, hooded by Professor John Taylor. Jonathan Bernard Walker, hooded by Professor Kevin Heaslip. In Computer Engineering, Rabi Halim Yunus, hooded by Professor Thomas Martin. In Computer Science and Applications, Michael Clark Stewart, hooded by Professor Deborah Tatar. In Electrical Engineering, Matthew David Carrick, hooded by Professor Jeff Reed. Scott Brian Gibson, hooded by Professor Daniel Stillwell. Kieran Kara, hooded by Professor Robert McGuire. Anibal Jan Sanjab, hooded by Professor Waleed Saad. In engineering education, John Ray Morlock, hooded by Professor Holly Matusevich. Amy Lynn Hermanstad Nave, hooded by Professor Denise Simmons. In engineering mechanics, Jamal Salem Aurawaija, hooded by Professor Mark Stremler. Brian Lida Chang, hooded by Professor Jonathan Boreko. Gary Kirk Nave Jr., hooded by Professors Shane Ross and Mark Stremler. In industrial and systems engineering, Tiara Monique Brown, hooded by Professors Joseph Gabbard and Anita Franklin. Thomas Daniel Hedberg, Jr., hooded by Professor Jaime Camillo. Ethan Philip Larson, hooded by Professor Brian Kleiner. Mohammed Saeed Abdelmakarm Shafei, hooded by Professor Jaime Camillo. Martha Irene Smith, hooded by Professor Joseph Gabbard. In materials science and engineering, Chen Tao Luo, hooded by Professor Dwight Wieland. Jonathan Setz Metzman, hooded by Professor Randy Heflin. Robert Jeffrey Mills, hooded by Professor Scott Case. Myung Eun Song, hooded by Professor Bill Reynolds. In mechanical engineering, Abdul Mohsen Amar Al-Sayari, hooded by Professor Thomas Diller. Christine Elizabeth Boshin, hooded by Professors Alexander Leonessa and Nicole Abed. Matthew Jacob Bender, hooded by Professor Andrew Kurdila. Ryan Charles Brown, hooded by Professor Al Wicks. Matthew Christopher Klontz, hooded by Professor Syed Taheri. Yu Chang Fu, hooded by Professor Yang Lu. Ishan Goswami, hooded by Professors Michael von Spakovsky and Scott Burbridge. Patrick Francis Musgrave, hooded by Professor Pablo Tarasaga. In mining engineering, Heather N. Docherty, hooded by Professor Cray Cooksbacher. From the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences, in Curriculum and Instruction, Lisa Denise Aker, hooded by Professor Mary Alice Barksdale. Brian Wade Miller, hooded by Professor David Hicks. Eunice Ofori, hooded by Professor Barbara Lockie. In higher education, Kelly J. Woods Johnson, hooded by Professor Claire Robbins. In science and technology studies, Kari Elizabeth Zacharias, hooded by Professor Matthew Wisnowski. In social, political, and cultural thought, Mario Crash, hooded by Professor Francois Debris. Jordan Leanne Laney, hooded by Professors Katrina Powell and Anthony Harrison. From the College of Natural Resources, in Geospatial and Environmental Analysis, Erin Elizabeth Poore, hooded by Professor Marcella Kelly. From the College of Science in Biological Sciences, Chen Liang, hooded by Professor Konark Mukherjee. Jishong Sun, hooded by Professor He Wang Ji. In chemistry, Kyle Arrington, hooded by Professor John Matson. Ming Tao Chen, hooded by Professor Robert Moore. Youngle Du, hooded by Professor David Kingston. Ting Hui Li, hooded by Professor Harry Dorn. Hadi Mohammadi, hooded by Professor Hervé Morand. Samantha Jo Talley, hooded by Professor Robert Moore. Ji Zhu, hooded by Professor Brenda Winkle. In geosciences, Qing Tang, hooded by Professor Shuhai Xiao. In mathematics, Justin August Chromatis, hooded by Professor Jeff Borgard. In statistics, James Thomas Fry, hooded by Professor Lynn Ressler. Yi Shi Sun, hooded by Professor Hong Xiao Zhu. From the Virginia-Maryland Regional College of Veterinary Medicine in Biomedical and Veterinary Sciences, Miao Chen, hooded by Professor Jia Chang He. Kristen Beth Eden, hooded by Professor Irving Allen. Gloria Jin Kang, hooded by Professor Brian Lewis. Dylan Keith McDaniel, hooded by Professor Irving Allen. Daniel Edward Rothschild, hooded by Professor Irving Allen. Lauren Marie Sheehan, hooded by Professor Clayton Caswell. In interdisciplinary doctoral degrees in genetics, bioinformatics, and computational biology, Amanda K. Fisher, hooded by Professor David Bevan. Zhao Nan Fu, hooded by Professor Jin Song Zhu. In macromolecular science and engineering, Ronald Matthew Joseph, hooded by Professor Judy Riffle. Ran Liu, hooded by Professor Judy Riffle. Mohammad Tasuji, hooded by Professor Charles Fraser. Wen Rui Zhang, hooded by Professor Judy Riffle. In translational biology, medicine, and health, Lauren Rose Kennedy Metz, hooded by Professor Sarah Henriksen Parker. Christina Kim Lee, hooded by Professor Li Wu Li. From the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences, receiving the Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy Studies, Matthew Wayne Crossman, hooded by Professor Carol Cash. Chandra Nishal Rue, hooded by Professor Ted Price. Jennifer Yvette Smith, hooded by Professor Carol Cash. Nicole Marie Wilcox, hooded by Professor Carol Cash.
A round of applause for our new doctoral recipients. Among the graduates today are individuals who have earned the Postmaster's Education Specialist degree and those who have earned a graduate certificate. And I would like to offer my congratulations on those achievements. The university offers many distinctive master's degrees, including a large number from the disciplines that confer the Master of Arts degree and the Master of Science degrees. The other master's degrees also include the Masters of Fine Arts, Masters of Business Administration, and professional master's degrees in disciplines including architecture, business, education, engineering, forestry, information technology, landscape architecture, natural resources, public health, and public affairs and urban planning. Will all the candidates for the master's degrees please rise? President Sands, I have the honor to present the candidates for the master's degrees.
Thank you. With the power vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the Commonwealth of Virginia, and upon recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the master's degrees to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Will the marshals please escort the candidates for the master's degrees to the stage? At this time, Dr. Marola will be reading the names of the master degree recipients. And you can be seated unless you're being escorted to the stage.
From the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, receiving the Master of Science in Agriculture and Life Sciences, Danielle Alexis Nolan, whose career is already sprouting. Alan Leonard Yelvington. Melissa Suzanne Wright. Leona Parr Ransdell. Hannah Robbins. Susan Marie Kame. Travis Robertson. Receiving the Master of Science in Animal and Poultry Sciences, Nicholas Wage Diaz. Linda Beckett. Receiving the Master of Life Sciences in Biochemistry, Britton Tyler Hipple. Receiving the Master of Science in Crop and Soil Environmental Sciences, Zachary Derry Irwin. Jabari Akil Bird. Alexandra Fina Schmidt. Receiving the Masters of Science in Dairy Science, Kelly M. Anger. Receiving the Masters of Life Science in Entomology, Stephanie Lynn Blevins. Receiving the Masters of Science in Horticulture, Tej Prasad Acharya. Receiving the Masters of Science in Human Nutrition, Foods, and Exercise, William Andrew Coffey. From the College of Architecture and Urban Studies, receiving the Master of Architecture, Cameron Garris. Receiving the Master of Science in Building Construction Science and Management, Adam James Fox. Christian Donato. John Nicholas Maddox. Ashka Rajesh Patel. Parag Garg. Robert Joseph Schlicker. Receiving the Master of Fine Arts in Creative Technologies, Michelle Ann Farber. Receiving the Master of Public and International Affairs in Government and International Affairs, Victoria Nicole Schwartz. Receiving the Master of Public Administration, Jill Mary Lane Grumbine. Whitney Perkins. Amanda Fox. Jessica Carmona. Receiving the Master of Urban and Regional Planning, Janae Lolise Padmore. Charles Jackson Egley. From the Pamplin College of Business, receiving the Master of Accounting and Information Systems, Marley Kiana Rodriguez. Christy Chappelle Pugh. Bethany Engel. Matt Boward. Jared Zachary Brown. Aaron Kinley Rabon. Mengyan Lu. Yi Ji Kui. Borong Fan. Kong Wang. Receiving the Master of Business Administration, Ashley Ann Bautista. Elizabeth Goff. Kelly Marie Milligan. Cody Charles Johnston. Derek Allen Fazell. Taylor Kavanaugh Dunn. Soma Sundaram Valiappan. Hariharan Subramanian. Keith Bryan. Elizabeth McLeod. Thomas Randall Frick. Jonathan Hedrick. Megan Elaine Moore. Audra Matrice Vest Upchurch. Mark Poirot. Sean French. Kevin S. Jones. Zeke Barlow. Jeremy Codaroli. Carrie Kai Yen Huang. Nagaraju Yeram. Nalini Srivastava. Roman A. Rustia III. James McGuire. Angelica Shimari Melvin. Receiving the Master of Science in Hospitality and Tourism Management, Di Hui Huang. Ali Moria E. Motayan. Fahad Ibrahim S. Al-Zakari. Abdullah Suleiman A. Al-Homot. Ahmet Hasikara. From the College of Engineering, receiving the Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering, Dylan Sluss. Receiving the Master of Science in Chemical Engineering, Yi Hong Huang. Receiving the Master of Science in Civil Engineering, Cody Furrow. Mershid Mohammadian. Wendy Aracely Reyes. Arash Samimi Garai. Mernush Farhadi. Amer Hossein Mohammadian. Javier Andres Avasias. Garrett Stephen Johns. Erica Nicole Immaculato. Eric Charles Todd. Eric Bianchi. Maddie Browse. Matthew Florence. Julie Anna Paprocki. Angela Charbel Sadeh. Taylor Danielle Sisti. Will Schaefer. Amrit Batare. Joe Novak. Harsh Narendra Kumar Patel. Ruidong Lee. Juanik Ju. Manab Rijal. Santosh Bhattarai. Tad James Alexander. Karanvir Kumar Kapania. Sasha Redman. Stephen Taylor. Ganapathy Bharadwaj Badareddy. Hiroka Kimura. Kyle Franklin Mager. Zachary Joseph Sprinkle. Taylor Bolt. Emma Elizabeth Coleman. Sergio Marlon Balavian. Receiving the Master of Science and Master of Engineering in Computer Engineering, Brian David Warwick. Receiving the Master of Science in Computer Science and Applications, Jamal Khan. Receiving the Master of Science and Master of Engineering in Electrical Engineering, Kamaya Dian Hu Nguyen. Shuang Cheng. James Black. Devin Jayesh Cheda. Radvishwar Kartikeyan. Receiving the Master of Science in Engineering Mechanics, Ryan Lane. Receiving the Master of Science in Environmental Science, Jing Xin. Yut Dong. Maria Negi. Receiving the Master of Science in Industrial Systems Engineering, Maria Gramatopolu. Nicholas Wickman. Akash Romi Agarwal. Receiving the Master of Science in Materials Science and Engineering, Seba Pereira. Jonathan Willis Angle. David Alexander Anderegg. Receiving the Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Mohammed Awad Alanasi. Suraj Arun Pawar. Receiving the Master of Science in Nuclear Engineering, Chu Fang Yang. From the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences, receiving the Master of Arts in Education in Career and Technical Education, Summer Ramsey Powers. Receiving the Master of Arts in Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Stephen Joseph Dixon. Christine Elizabeth Gooseman. Carmen Renee Harper. Kendria Scott. Shelda Daniels. Ulsi Erdain Dembarel. Receiving the Master of Arts in Education in Educational Leadership and Policy Studies, Kelly Dillon Stevens. Jessica Sanders Mullins. Joshua Keith Noel. Sally Winslow Adams. Nicole Rhea Justice. Rebecca Marie Thompson. Simone Nicole Stallings. Christine Martino. Olivia Catherine McCraw. Alicia Dawn Clements. Megan Rose Perno. Leslie Collins Reynolds. Kelly Marie Schoenfelder. Nicholas Lamar Sneed. Emily Dunham Surfass. Amy Christine Southworth. Jessica Lynn Strickler. Receiving the Master of Arts in Foreign Languages, Cultures, and Literatures, Maria Paula Monteros Freeman. Anahi Trujillo Camorlinga. Azeb Malaku. Receiving the Master of Arts in Political Science, Rebecca Sherrod. Grace Wheaton. From the College of Natural Resources and Environment, receiving the Master of Science in Fisheries and Wildlife Sciences, Kelton Michael Verbal. Receiving the Master of Science in Geography, Callie Lambert. Receiving the Master of Natural Resources, Sean Reif. Chad Heflin. Carl Eugene Carson III. Robert Victor Goderi. Agnieszka Ki Grocholska. Kindra Erickson. Quentin Joseph McNichols. Sarah L. Chofi. Alexander Daniel Eaton. Greg Kralik. Anthony Kirk Daerly. Stephen Alton. Tyler Jonathan Brock. Allie Teresa Dorr. Melanie Morris. Colleen Marie Kiefer. Tracy Marie Lind. Kristen Valentish. R. Alexander Summers. Arslan Ahmad. Jens Christian Larson. Hope Meredith Bush. Bert Patrick Fuyava. Tiba Tavasoli. Dana Curley Beagle. From the College of Science, receiving Master of Science in Biological Sciences, Meng Yao Luo. Receiving the Master of Science in Chemistry, Jeremy Allen Cunningham. Receiving the Master of Science in Statistics, Robert E. Settlage. From the Virginia Maryland Regional College of Veterinary Medicine, receiving the Master of Public Health, Cara Nicole de Gisto. From interdisciplinary degree programs, receiving the Master in Information Technology, Stacy Renee Polly. Ravinder Malarapu. Truk T. Nut Nguyen. Sami Ahmed. Jamin Paul Castleman. William Borga Koch. Corinne Pikatagi. Jurgens Vestal. Leonard Eschen. Evan John Chicoin. Elizabeth Morris. Ryan David Oren. Sarah Elizabeth Warner. Mohammad Morshed Alam. Sharafat Ali Sarkar. Jay Kumar. Sanjay Kim. Krushna Shrikant Gate, Shamin Patwari, John Koingoyen Tran, Kenneth Atkins, Gary Allen Hess, Tauhidal Islam, Sun Yuk Baek,
Congratulations to all of our new master's degree recipients. I would like to ask Matt Winston, Senior Associate Vice President for Alumni Relations, to share congratulations and a message on behalf of the alumni.
Thank you, Dean DePaul. President Sands, Dean DePaul, the members of the Board of Visitors, to the deans and vice presidents of Virginia Tech, the faculty, the staff, parents, brothers and sisters, children, families, loved ones of all of these graduates. It's my role, my responsibility, and my pleasure to stand before you to officially welcome these young people in front of me into the Hokie Nation Network, officially from the Virginia Tech Alumni Association. So to each of you graduates, I say greetings to you, the newest graduates of the greatest university on the entire planet, and that is Virginia Tech. This is a special day in your life and a special day in the life of this great institution. You join a legion of Hokies, more than 250,000 strong around the world, who because of their experiences here are solving problems, serving their communities, and changing the world in which we live, play, and breathe each and every day. Our network is large, but we share a common bond represented by more than just our traditions. It's our commitment to service, our commitment to each other, and to the global community that brings us together and separates us from the rest. As graduate students at Virginia Tech, you each played a unique and multifaceted role within our community. You brought your own undergraduate experiences into this universe of higher learning and inquiry. You brought unique skills and perspectives from the workplace, from the military, humanitarian perspectives, and from your own personal upbringing. You introduced all of that into the fabric of this place. Some of you had jobs or were running your own companies. Some of you were raising families, or maybe trying to run away from them a little bit. But what impresses me is that some of you did all of these things at the same time. That makes what you have accomplished in earning your graduate degree from Virginia Tech so remarkable. You gave us your talents, and for that I offer my admiration, my respect, and my gratitude. For it is in the spirit of our university's motto, Ut Prosim, that I may serve, that I believe your efforts here were delivered. As Hokies, we live Ut Prosim every day. It's more than just our motto. It's who we are. We serve others, we help each other, and we fight for what's right. And as the newest class of Hokies, we now depend on you to continue that service both to your communities and to your alma mater. Be an ambassador for this university that has supported you. Visit campus often. Come back for reunion programs. Remain engaged with your major professors and research sponsors. Mentor other Hokies. And share what makes our community so special with others. And tell us where you relocate so we can keep you connected to Hokies that will be nearby. You will face big opportunities and you will face difficult challenges. But what you have gained here at Virginia Tech will arm you with the tools needed to overcome any obstacle before you. Know that from this point on for the rest of your lives, that the world will expect extraordinary things from you because you are now a graduate of Virginia Tech. There is no other university in the world more worthy of your loyalty, your dedication, and your support than what is now our alma mater. For you see, we are Virginia Tech. On behalf of the Virginia Tech Alumni Association and the 250,000 alums around the world, I say congratulations to each and every one of you. Go Hokies.
And as a final note, I would like to call upon Dr. John Ferris, who is president of the Faculty Senate, and he will bring a message of congratulations on behalf of the university faculty.
Thank you, Dean DePaul. Last speaker, one page. When I was asked to write a few remarks today, I thought back on all the times students asked me for advice based on my life experiences. Most of these requests were made at the bar, which is ironic because I really haven't necessarily made my best choices while sitting at a bar. But since it's just you and me here, let's pretend we're sitting at the bar and ordered a couple drinks, beer, coffee, whatever you like, and you ask me, hey, Doc Ferris, what's the most important thing you've learned in your 50 years? Well, I've sipped my beer, looked away, scratched my head, and think that the simplicity of what I have to say will probably disappoint you. But then I say this: we vastly overestimate the negative consequences of doing the right thing. Now, by the right thing, I don't mean anything radical. I'm talking about telling the truth, standing up for the underdog, and following through on your commitments. If you do these things, yes, there are going to be some unhappy faces in the short term, but in the long term, the consequences that you suffer will be far less painful than you imagine. You'll have the benefit of knowing that you're living your life as you believe that you should. This is a private boon and a public gift for people who will recognize your moral basis through your words and deeds. After all, they're fellow human beings who understand integrity and honor and duty when they see it because it's a fundamental part of them. In the long term, this is what builds understanding and respect and trust and love, and that's how you can make your corner of the world a little better. Now, about this time, you're looking at your drink, slowly nodding your head, and I figure you're having deep thoughts. And you are. You're thinking, when's this old fella gonna stop talking? Which is fine, because here comes the bartender with the check. This one's on me, no, I insist. And let me sum up with the philosophy espoused by Lee, Spike Lee that is, when he said, do the right thing, and don't fear the consequences. They won't be nearly as bad as you imagine. Well, the check's paid and I gotta get going, so the sermon from the bar stool ends. Let me finish by congratulating you all on behalf of the faculty of Virginia Tech and thank all of your family and friends for their support. We wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ferris. A special thanks to Dr. Merola as the reader of names, to the faculty ushers and marshals, to Allison Harris and to Dr. Jay Crone and the members of the Virginia Tech Brass Ensemble for their part in this afternoon's ceremony. Now would you please stand until the stage party has recessed. With the recessional, our ceremony will be concluded. Thank you for joining us and have a safe trip home.
Thank you.